Hello everyone and welcome back to the second part of our preview of the Landjut DLC with the second Danish division here, the Østre Div, and this one is the well-trained reservist division of the Danish with some American assistance, as you can already see here, and it will be a pretty fun division as well. Like, I like both the Danish divisions by looks, and I might like this one even a bit more than the first one that we looked at in the last video. And we're gonna with the logistics tab, where it looks pretty similar to the first one. You have the Lara Commando, you have your M113 as the CV options, Bedford and the Jupiter. You also get an S61A here as a supply helicopter with 1000 supply. Beautiful looking model as well. Having maybe even being a bit too shiny here for me, but like in general, just fantastic looking model. And then we go into the infantry tab, and you have a lot of choices here. Starting with more 50 cal and 7.6 MG than the military politi, and in this division you might want to take them around, coming around in the military politi truck as well. And then we have the Ingenieur once more. Fantastic little unit, 3 availability, smoke Carl Gustav, and only 40 points. And then we have the HJV Ingenieur. Here we start with the reservist. So as I said, military police might be something that you want to take more serious in this one. As we go with World War II vintage M1 Garants here on these guys. They also get the Super Bazooka and Satchel Charges. So yeah, really World War II vintage kind of unit here, with one SMG there as well. And coming around in Bedfords, then you have your normal Ingenieur Carl Gustav with the HE Carl Gustav that is pretty helpful at dealing with units in buildings, as it has the demolition charge. And yeah, really one of the key units most likely for infantry fights of the Danish. You will take them in both divisions. Bedfords and M113 A1s here is the options, and then the normal Ingenieur, where you get the law and the satchel charges combination as well. So these guys here getting the weaker variant of this, basically, with the Super Bazooka, but paying 15 points less by also being a reservist. And here you get the ones with an MG3 normal battle rifles as support. And then you get your HGV Führer, which are reservist leaders, and they come around with a Super Bazooka as well. They come around with some old SMGs and some Garants as well here, and an MG3, so it could go through as a World War II unit in general as well. And with the MG3 just being a heavily modernized MG42 basically. And then you have your HGV Reservister here with the Garants and an MG and a Super Bazooka. So yeah, firepower of these militia units here, not that amazing. The normal HGV Ingenieur don't have the reservist trait, but these guys here are the reservister, and then the normal ones lose the reservister trait as well, and they actually get decent rifles too. They get battle rifles, and they even get a scoped one. So they actually have decent firepower here with an MG and the sniper rifle, 12 hit point squad. You get 4 cards of these, so this is likely the unit that you wanna go around using in numbers. And then you get a law here for these guys as well. And then you have your normal Infantry and the Infantry Führer here moving around with the law, with smoke. So yeah, all 3 leaders here, I believe, are decently viable. But this one only has 2 availability, so that leaves it a bit down. And then we have the Infantry with the law here, the PNEF variant. The normal Infantry gets the Carl Gustav, does also use Garants though, and some older rifles here in general. These guys here with decent battle rifles, and the MG3. The MG3 at least stays as well, but you get Garants and you get the SMGs here. You get the Carl Gustav AT launcher for it, but yeah, this is in general still a bit of a weird loadout. And then we get the Leaf Garden with Carl Gustav, MG, and some battle rifles here as well. All of these squads still bringing around some submachine guns, which is, together with the MG3, not a great mix, because these you obviously want to use moving and pushing into the enemy, whilst the MG3 can't fire there, so having this mixed in already was always weird in Steel Division Infantry, and it's not great in Warno Infantry either. The Lift Garden being Resolute though here, being the guard squads basically, they do a pretty decent job, and they have the Carl Gustav as well, so in general, pretty nice little infantry squad here. 10 hit points is solid as well, so you're usually gonna take that card, I believe, there. And then we have your M40 A1 recoilless rifle, and one card of ITO still, so you get a decent AT gem in the infantry tab as well. You get your little Jeep with an M40 A1 recoilless rifle on the rear as well, though those are still not that great. And then you get Panzer Infantry, two cards still, so you can go with normal infantry, you can't ignore the HJV if you want to. I believe you don't want to ignore this unit. Panzer Infantry with Carl Gustav and 8 hit points here. Possibly moving around an M113. Der Panzer Infantry Führer here, Führer with the red eye, being really solid as well. And then you get the front end, which are your special forces in this division, and they get a really, really hot loadout. 6 MP5s gives you great CQC firepower and doesn't fight with the rest of the loadout, because satchel chargers together with MP5s goes hard. You can push onto enemies, stun them down, kill them quickly with the MP5s. MP5s by far the best SMGs in the game. For some reason, just highly outperforming anything else on the SMG range. You can move them around in this beautiful Danish navy blue links here, and they can with that get into the front line real quick, as this is a fast flying helicopter. And you get 2 cards of 3 in this as well, and the Carl Gustav on top, like that's a good AT launcher, so getting that on top of this makes them a really, really solid special forces squad. 55 points, rather cost efficient as well, and yep, really gives them some nice firepower here. Like comparable to the PSSEBs in Berlin Command, just obviously not in the Recon tab, but also being a bit cheaper for that. And yeah, 3 availability at max threat is solid too. So these guys likely will kick ass and really finish up the mix of a nice infantry tab, where I believe you might want to go something like this and then some support units. Like there are some cool options that you can choose here. Like something like this, I guess, would be a nice look for this infantry tab, or rather like this. Really, really nice infantry tab. Artillery tab gets you a lot of different howitzers. You start with mortars, 120mm mortar and 81mm mortar here, relatively standard. And then you get your howitzers in 105mm, the classic M101. You get your M1 long toms, 155mm, old vintage howitzers. Your M114s once more, but short barreled M114s with only 15km range, 155mm, and your M115s with 70km range at 203mm. You still also get 1 card of M109s here, and you get your tracked M125 81mm mortars if you want to stay a bit more agile. So those are decent options as well, and yeah, these howitzers are gonna be interesting. Looking forward to see how this all plays out at 30 tab wise. I don't believe it's gonna be that great. Yeah, the long toms being reservist. Long tom actually actually has a good bit more range than the normal army 155mm howitzer here. So yeah. So it's also a bit more pricey, or at least a bit more pricey. So yeah, gonna be just interesting to see what you pick there in the end. I'm not quite sure right now. Like, I guess safe pick would just go like this and then see maybe one more mortar or so, or the 2 or 3 millimeter gun, I guess, to go around there. Tank tab brings around some good old World War II vintage as well, as we start with M10s, and this model looks fantastic. Like, still WW2 would love to have a model looking this good of the M110. Gets the ammo in there all nice and clean as well. Can even look into the room decently well there. And you have a tank that fires heat rounds, which is a saving grace because 11 pen with AT would be terrible because you couldn't penetrate any tanks and you also wouldn't one-shot anything. With heat rounds, it's not really killing anything either, but at least it can damage everything. 45 points here. It moves around decently quickly. And it has a 50 cal on top, which can assist a bit against infantry. The heat output, the HE output, obviously, of a 7.6mm gun, not that amazing. Accuracy is pretty bad as well. And it at least gets 12 rounds per minute. It has the security trait as well, which is interesting. Gives it slightly better optics, so you can use it kind of as a tank hunter on the flanks, being stationary, though it doesn't deal that kind of damage here in 1989 that it would do in World War II. Like in World War II, getting that security trait would be really hot for an M10, but here I'm not quite sure. The more interesting unit is the M41. This time around, not coming in the recon tab, but in the normal tank tab, but getting APFSD rounds that give you 15 pen at max range. That is quite interesting. Like, this thing is going to be annoying for any IV and APC out there. And for light tanks, it can be a big danger as well. It is nicely priced as well, like 70 points for a tank that can fire max range. That is pretty cheap. Reason for it is that it is an absolute paperweight when it comes to armor. 4 frontal armor is absolutely nothing. Like, a lot of things can one-shot this. Like, nearly all 80 gems. It just barely survives the Milans and the Fagots and Malyutkas, but everything slightly higher will just one-shot this, like a Dragon 2. And yeah, that means this is an interesting attack. It goes really fast off-road, so that's helpful as well. And then you get M113s and the Laros here with your 80 gems, and then you get the Centurions starting with the 84mm once more, 20 pounders, and those once more being penetration rounds with 14 pen. Pretty good against light vehicles as well. We talked about that in the other Danish divisions. Can't really kill any heavier tank at all. Like, even 15 frontal armor or so, you start to really struggle. Like T-72s or so, you're just not gonna do anything about. And even against normal tanks, you don't deal much damage. But you're relatively well armored yourself. You have a 50 cal, so that is helpful. And then we get the Centurion Mark 5 to DK. And this is an improved variant of the Centurion, even better than the other Mark 5/2 that we saw in the other division, because this one has an improved fire control system, giving it 2,100 meter range with 16 pen, which is a decent penetration level. Obviously goes down to 9 rounds from the 12 rounds here, but better HE output here of the gun as well. Still has the 50 cal and actually can deal damage to all kinds of medium tanks now. So this is a fairly priced medium tank there. 2,100 meter range here really works out nicely. Like, that can enable it to kill off enemy Leo 1s, for example, that only have 1,925 meter range trying to push into you or so. Like, those kind of matchups, this can be pretty good. It's still Centurion that goes really slowly, so that's the big issue with these tanks, but you have the really fast boys up over here, so having these in your main line can still work out quite nicely, and they are priced correctly there in my eyes right now as well. Then you get into the Recon tab, and here you get another card of the M41 DK1. It's at currently very good optics, so we'll see if that stays that way. If it does, these guys will be nasty with max range firepower, like kind of being AMX-10 RC counterparts. Having similar frontal armor there as well, just a bit lower pen, but yeah, really high off-road speed as well. And then you get your SAP ELK Special Forces GSR unit with a red eye here, and a smoke grenade as well, so really good utility for deployment for these guys too. Really good utility unit. And then you get your HEV Spedere, which get at least a sniper rifle and 6 hit points, 30 points with a law unit that has 6 hit points, so it's pretty decent. Your normal 3-man squad with double MG3, your normal Spedere DYKN with Carl Gustav, 3-man squad here, and your Panzer Spedere once more 1 card here, 10-man squad with Carl Gustav. All options here pretty viable, and an exceptional optics S61 recon helicopter. So this recon tab is going hard, and you get the slots for it. 6 good slots here. Like, you're gonna take a lot of recon here. Just not that many good recon vehicles, but the one that you get here with the M41 is fantastic. So especially if it stays at very good, but even if it doesn't stay at very good, it still will be able to ambush enemy recon units really nicely. Like, it does not need the very good optics to be fantastic, but if it stays there, it's gonna be an absolute beast. And then we have the AA tab, where you get your quad mount 50 cal, you get your 40mm Bofors without the autoloader, because this is a really classic Bofors system here. And then you get your Hamlet Red Eyes and your Stinger Post teams, and this is the key part here, getting actually good manpad. You do get Hawks here as well, and you do get a 50 cal on a truck, so a bit better than the other Danish squad by having the way better manpad and having a truck that actually can do something as well. And then in the air tab you get your Drakens as well. Now I got it right. Yeah, you get a lot of Drakens here, including an AA variant with the AM9Ns, 2 only though, so it's not all that amazing. Decent speed, 8 hit points. You get 30% ECM. Danish modernizations here kicking hard, but 8 hit points plain still an issue. And the AM9Ns are pretty terrible, so yeah, it only costs you 90 points. That's the good part about it. Having a 30 ECM plane with 90 points goes quite nicely with the rest of the air tab. We're gonna get into that in a second here. Then you get your F-35 cluster. Here the 30% ECM come in nicely. This one with 6 bombs can do its job. Then we have an HE cluster mix. 4 cluster, 4 HE bombs. That's a solid mix as well. Though the HE bombs are not that great, so you still mostly want to use it on vehicles, but you maybe can do both, killing off an ATGM team and then coming in for the tank, or first coming in for the tank, and then if you survive, coming in for an ATGM team or so, turning off the HE bombs. Then you get 4 bigger HE bombs, which actually is a pretty nice loadout here on the final one. The price obviously increases quite heavily. And then you get the big rocket one that we saw in the other division here on your Draken as well. Then we get more F-18s, this time around by the US themselves. The first US ones we see, not an US tech, but don't you worry, the Marines will get some pretty beautiful planes as well. And yeah, the American F-18s here looking pretty sexy as well. And they come around with AM9P Sparrows, quite a lot of them, 4 under the wings here. AM9P's great range, two AM9Ms on the wingtips, so great weapon loadout here. More AM9M Sparrows here. On the second one, there you only get 2, so yeah, losing a bit out on accuracy, but this one carries around 6 AM9Ms, so 8 missiles versus 6 missiles here. So yeah, really good at killing off helicopters. Like, this can kill off a lot of helicopters there with those AM9Ms, and pretty good in head-on fights and so on as well. And then in the last one that you get is a seed plane that also gets sparrows. So this is a fantastic seed plane as well. Like NATO Air Forces eating good here in the whole DLC. And the FA-18s here with harm, with 2 AIM-9M Sparrows and 2 AIM-9Ms, 2 AIM-7Ms and 2 AIM-9M Sidewinders here on the side. Really fantastic plane as well. 50% ECM here, going up even 10% more over the normal FA-18s. So yeah, this is a fantastic air tap as well, and really doing a fantastic job for the Danish here. No helicopters, but outside of that, this deck gets fantastic infantry, gets a solid tank mix, gets fantastic recon, great air. So should be a fun little one to play. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And sorry for that. And hope you all to see you all in the next one. Bye bye, and have a great day.